What a warm welcome.
Oh, nice.
Bobbi, it is
Must have been your sweater.
It is so nice to be here with you. I remember the first time that we met, I was on a press trip with you in Miami, and we were actually on a wellness retreat.
Right, we were at the Soho House.
Right.
In Miami, it was awesome.
And it's so funny because you've written 9 books,
Yes.
but the main point of difference of this one is...
It's really more not what you put on your face, but what you put in your body that makes you beautiful.
That's incredible.
All of my books have always had wellness and health inside, always, because it's what I believe in.
And always empowerment, too, which I've always
Well,
loved.
empowerment is just helping people feel good about themselves.
Yes, exactly. So why did you decide to go more specifically in wellness for this book?
Well, I really would have done not even beauty in the book, and the publisher, said, well, people think of you as a makeup artist, which I am, but I wanted to really focus on, inside-out beauty, just what you eat, supplements. It's very confusing to me, like it is to everyone, but I believe that when you do the right thing, it makes all the difference.
I learned from our trip in Miami that wellness is a very personal journey for you. What have you kind of experimented with, and what has wellness meant to you throughout your life?
Well, it is for everybody, and I think it's wellness and health doesn't mean diet and losing weight. It really means how you could feel good, how you could get rid of pain in your body, how you could feel, mobile in your joints, and just how your skin doesn't need a ton of makeup, and you don't have to spend a lot of time covering blemishes because you're eating really healthy. I just think it once you learn what food works for you, it's kind of a miracle.
And you've brought your husband along on this journey with you as well?
It's funny, when I first met my husband, our first date was at his apartment, and we've been married 28 years, and he made a little brunch for me, and I had to go in the kitchen and get a knife, and I opened up the drawer, and there was a piece of a champion juicer. I had the champion juicer, and I didn't have the piece. He had the piece and not the juicer. He had given it to his brother and forgot to give him this piece, so I had to marry him for the piece of the champion juicer.
There you go. That's the love story. It started right there.
And we got engaged ice skating. He tried to get me out jogging, and I wasn't in the mood, so he finally got me out ice skating, and we got engaged in 3 months.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
Yeah, I was 30 at the time, and I had just stopped dating someone that I was with for 18 years.
Wow.
And so I think the husband said, I better get this thing done.
That's incredible. And now you guys do yoga together, you're going on retreats together.
We do yoga together. We have definitely different habits. He hops on the bike and the treadmill while I'm sitting in bed drinking my espresso and reading the New York Post, but...
That's amazing. So inside the book, you have a lot of influential people in here who are both from wellness and beauty and entertainment. Do you want to shout anyone out, or is there anything that really spoke to you from the book?
One of the amazing things about being in the position I'm in is I've gotten to meet so many incredible experts and celebrities, and what we talk about when we're together is health and wellness. What works for you? What are you doing? Whether it's Elle Macpherson, the supermodel, of course, the body. But you know what? She had a time where she wasn't feeling good, and she took not feeling good, searching for an answer. She met a doctor, and together they created this company that makes these greens and protein powders, and she's done an amazing transformation with herself, and she's 50-something years old and feels amazing.
And it comes in that beautiful black jar.
Yeah,
the
it
elixir,
does.
right?
Yep, it does.
Actually very good.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. And then Hannah Bronfman, who's this cool DJ, love her. She's everything. I just was with her a couple days ago. I said, I don't know what an it girl is, but you're it. So she's really cool, and she's got a whole wellness thing, and she was telling me this amazing story about her grandmother. She grew up, and her grandmother was anorexic, and that's how she learned about health and wellness. And she's quite something.
Yeah, actually, her and I see the same trainer, so when I look at her workouts on Instagram, I'm always like, I feel you, girl, because she's going through it.
And she looks good, and you know what? She's getting married in a month, and she said, I am not starving myself into my dress. I want to just be who I am. I'm like, you got to share that message.
Yeah, well, actually, that ties in perfectly to the next question. The book does a lot with confidence, and obviously all of your books have. What does confidence mean to you, and how have you found it?
People always say, how do you get confident? Well, confident just really means that you're comfortable in your own skin.
Right.
That's it. You're comfortable in your clothes. You're comfortable being who you are. And there's times where we're not confident. We don't feel good. I bet you a lot of those times you don't feel healthy.
Yeah.
So, I always tell people, just go outside, go for a walk, go for a run. You'll turn your mood around.
What would you say to people who think that the beauty industry or makeup actually run counter to that message?
Well, I think that, the beauty industry is huge, and I think there's definitely a lot of different messages. There's a lot of messages now about, self-esteem. And when I started as a makeup artist 20, 30 years ago, there was no foundations for women of color. There was no foundations for Indian women. There were no foundations for, people with warm skin tones.
Right. Even still, we see partial ranges being released, or it's only like a shade of ivory to pale beige.
Right. When I was with my company, I always made sure, no matter what, that no one ever took away the dark colors. I don't care if they were the small sellers. We had a foundation number 10, which was really dark, the color of this beautiful model Juarez, and I would not discontinue it.
Good for you. I'm sure that people are really grateful for that. There are a lot of pages in here.
Yeah.
Is there one lesson or one thing you'd really want someone to take away from after reading this book?
You know what? There's so many. It's like asking me which of my 3 sons do I like best. And I know, but I won't tell you. Just kidding. And they all think it's them.
That's good. That means you're a good mom.
One of my favorite pictures is still the beauty bowl. There's a Buddha beauty bowl, which I can't really say too many times, but it's delicious, and you put some tahini dressing on it, and it's really filling, and I love it.
That's great. Well, obviously you made a name for yourself as more than just a 9-time best-selling author.
Who doesn't know how to type, by the way?
No way.
Never. My mother let me drop out of typing. She said, you'd probably never be a secretary. She was right.
So what are you like typing like this with your one
I
finger?
type with this finger. I don't know why.
Well, you type with your middle finger.
I do.
That's
I do.
kind of...
Yeah. And I look down at the keys, so I never spell check, and sometimes it's not pretty.
It might take you forever.
Oh, it takes me a while, but I speak in shorthand.
And what about dictating? You can dictate into the iPhone now. You can use Siri.
Yeah, that works sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, that works sometimes.
Only sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, aside
And
from...
spell check. Oh my God. Sometimes it's really scary.
It's a lifesaver. Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes maybe it's just me. They're not finding my words. I can never spell entrepreneur, and they can't either. Okay.
I was going to make you do it on stage, but I feel like that'd be rude. I'm going to skip that.
I know it's E-N-T-E.
No.
Oh, see? Entre, no, R-E. I always forget if it's E or A.
Yes,
Entre,
R-E.
right? Or is it A or E?
Entre, R-E. Yep.
Okay, see?
There you go.
See, you could be good in life and not be good in spelling.
So aside from learning how to type,
Yeah.
what advice do you have for budding entrepreneurs? And I ask this because the wellness and beauty space right now is crowded with so many people who are trying to launch lines. And I think what's cool about social media in this age of the internet that we're coming up in is that people actually have a shot. Like, you can really launch something and make a lot of the big companies quite nervous.
Well, I think the cool thing now is that there's a lot of new indie companies, whether it's wellness, health, beauty, that are launching on Instagram and launching on, I think Pinterest is even starting. And the great thing is it doesn't cost a lot of money.
Right.
And you don't have to take, all the money from your parents or your savings account. You could just get the messaging out there and figure out a way to sell it.
Yeah.
And I think it's incredible.
What about tips especially or specifically more for women? You've been a woman navigating the beauty industry, but also the industry at large for quite a long time. And you've been a complete trailblazer and pioneer in running your business and being firm about your vision for your business and your brand. Was that hard for you, or what advice do you have for women who are...
Well, first of all, nothing is easy. I'm the mother of 3 kids.
Yes.
I raised my kids in the suburb. I commuted. I left, the big fashion shoots at 6 o'clock and 5 o'clock, and people looked at me like, how could you? Because they like to stay, till 10. But I did those things, and I did them because I'd rather be home with my kids than, waiting for a model to get out of the dressing room for 4 hours. But I think that nothing's easy in life, and, trying to figure out how I'm going to feed the fam, and whether it's takeout or, I'm the best. I could go into anyone's kitchen in the refrigerator and take leftovers and chop them up to the most amazing food, and I learned a lot of tricks that way. So, my advice is just figure it out.
Yes.
Be the entrepreneur of your life and just figure it out.
That's incredible. Well, in that same way, you've always encouraged women to be able to talk openly about beauty and health in themselves. And obviously, your makeup line was all about enhancing the beauty that you were given. So why was that message important to you?
Well, it's important to me because even as a young makeup artist, when I first came to New York, it was the 80s. And if you did not contour and change the color of your skin and overline your eyes and overline your eyebrows and completely redo your eyes, you were not a working makeup artist.
This sounds familiar.
It's back.
It's back.
It's back. And by the way, I didn't like it. I thought the girls looked much prettier when they had no makeup on. Mm-hmm. And so my style slowly evolved. And trust me, people said, you're never going to work unless you do makeup this way. And I started doing my thing, and somehow it took off, and then it became popular, and all of a sudden, I called my first lipstick brown. It really should have been called nude because it was lip tone.
Right.
So I always like to look for makeup that look like the color of your lips, your cheeks, your eyelids. I mean, that's still what works for most people.
Right. And you've been innovating for a while. There's a story that I love about you that I'm going to make you tell about how you invented gel eyeliner.
Right. Gel eyeliner was something I'm really proud of. And the story is I was on a shoot. It was actually a reshoot for Architectural Digest, shooting a picture of me. I was like, I got this. I'm by myself. I went up to do my makeup, and of course, in my drawer, I had a black mascara, and I think, that's it, a blush. And I'm like, all right, I do my makeup. I'm like, something's missing here. No, there's no liner, no shadow. So I look
As an aside, you own a beauty empire at this point. And
Yes.
You only have mascara and blush in your drawer.
That is it.
Okay.
That is it.
Got it.
I was always the shoemaker who had no shoes, always. Because I always gave everything away or had little samples. So I literally pulled out the mascara, I put it on, and then I said, oh, why not? And I took a Q-tip, got the fuzzy off, I lined my eye. It was a waterproof mascara. Of course, I had no eye makeup remover, so it stayed on overnight. I woke up in the morning, and it was on. And I called someone in my office, and I said, could you find out if that's okay? And she called me back. She said, yes, it's gel-based. I said, oh, my God, what if we pour it into this little glass jar that was on my desk that I got at a vintage store that was an old inkwell, and what if we call it gel ink? And we did.
And now, dozens of imitations later.
I just wish I've asked 3,000 people, how much did it bring into Bobbi Brown Cosmetics, and how much did it bring into the entire industry, because every single person has one in their line.
Well, your impact is immeasurable, because I know many a girl who rely on gel eyeliner now.
But that's being an entrepreneur. You just make stuff up. But that's what it is. That's all it is.
Maybe that's the best advice you could give.
Yes, you make stuff up, and if it works, then it works.
Right.
Years ago, when I was in college, I wanted to wear these cowboy boots really badly, so I went to put them on. I have really strong legs, and it wouldn't fit under my jeans. So you would think I would change my jeans. No, I got scissors and I cut the cowboy boots off. And so they would fit under my jeans. That was way before there were those boots.
Oh, like ankle boots?
Yes.
Oh, got
I made
it.
my own.
So you also invented ankle boots?
I did.
Breaking news.
And guess what else I almost invented? After I had my first kid, I came into the office and I said to my team at the time, I said, okay, this sounds really stupid, but I'm so tired at night, I want to just take his baby wipe and get my makeup off and throw it away. And everyone's like, that's disgusting. Have you guys ever used a facial wipe before? Thank you.
Sure have.
So I could have invented that, but I didn't.
But too bad.
I'm not going to listen to anyone that says it's a dumb idea.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of Bobbi Brown Cosmetics, and also speaking of wellness, you recently have exited the company.
Yes.
And I'm sure that this was a particularly stressful time for you. What kind of self-care tips, maybe some of the things that are even in this book, did you practice to kind of keep your sanity and balance?
Well, it was a really interesting time because my number one support that worked for me outside of the company had a baby the day it happened. My father was having some health issues. My friend's mother was in really bad health shape, and I did not have my normal people to call. So I had nothing to do except to just say, okay, there's a reason for this. And I dealt with whatever I was feeling at the time. And, there's normal emotions for any kind of change because it was a long time.
Right.
And I am someone that doesn't like to spend a lot of time and energy being in a bad mood or not feeling good. So I started walking and just picking up the phone and calling people and talking, and one thing led to another. And I got quickly excited about opportunities out there in the world.
As soon as I heard the news, I was like, I said to everyone who asked me about it, I said, just you wait, because this is just the beginning. And if you had the pleasure or honor of meeting Bobbi Brown like I did, you would understand that.
Oh, thanks.
And I remember something about our meeting, and I don't know if you remember this, but I was reading a book by Roxane Gay called Bad Feminist. I hope many of our audience members have read it. And you came up to me and you were like, that's so funny. You consider yourself a feminist. And I wonder, in the wake of all of this, what your thoughts are about feminism now and what it's meant to you.
Well, it's very interesting. First of all, I was lucky enough to meet Gloria Steinem at the White House once.
Oh,
and
that's
by the way, the
magical.
young actresses who I was with had never heard of her, okay?
Oh, man.
That's number two. Number three, I am somehow introducing her at Rutgers in a couple weeks for something. So I am,
What an honor.
I mean, if you don't know Gloria Steinem, Google her, all right? But honestly, what it means for me, I mean, it's empowerment. It's, it's, to me, men and women are not equal. We're better.
Amazing. How do you continue to, especially now, be creative, innovate, find inspiration? How are you finding your inspiration?
Well, the problem is not how to find inspiration and how to think of things that I want to do. It's how do I manage all the things that I think of. I'm someone that, especially with freedom of not having to go into a big corporate office every day, dealing with all the issues and problems, there's no issues and problems right now. There might be lack of, staff around me to get things done, where I used to have 15 PR people following me around, looking at my hair, giving me food, whatever, giving me the questions before. Now I walk into something and I'm like, all right, what are we doing on the show? They tell me and I just do it. Right. So it's kind of interesting, I have to say.
Do you feel liberated? I
feel liberated, I do.
That's incredible. I'm really happy for you. So you've just turned 60. Am I allowed to say that on stage?
I turned 60.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
I love this audience. You're in a new role. Obviously, you're launching your 9th book, and now you're also Lord & Taylor's new creative consultant. Can you tell us a little bit about the Just Bobbi pop-up shop?
Sure. So, as I said, I picked up the phone and called some friends, and I called my friend Richard Baker, who happens to be one of the owners of Lord & Taylor, amongst other stores. And he said, I've wanted to work with you for a long time. Come in, let's talk. So a lot of meetings, a lot of group meetings, a lot of talking, a lot of opportunity, and this was something that was the first thing that we are doing together. And it's it's justbobbi.com, and it's a pop-up shop, which is a concept shop. If you go into the shop, it's not a makeup shop. There's a few of my favorite beauty products, but then there's some other beauty things like the Dyson hairdryer and the New Face, sneakers, clothes, different things that I think really helps show a Bobbi lifestyle.
Right. Food and wellness things.
And it'll be changing weekly, monthly.
And what other projects are you working on? What's next for you?
Well, I'm also working on a hotel. Well, my husband's a developer, and he's renovating the hotel, and I am help decorating the hotel. And it'll of course, and it'll be open. There'll be a pop-up shop there too. And we've done a lot of traveling in our life, and I know what I look for when I stay at a hotel. So I'm going to be, trying to ideate the different things that people I think would really like in their hotel room. In a very simple way, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's called The George. It'll be open in September.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, you are obviously a woman of many talents. But
who can't play golf or tennis, or maybe I would retire.
Or retire, yeah. But no one wants you to, so please don't yet. Yeah. But what is the one thing that Bobbi Brown can't live without?
Well, I can't live without my family. My family, my iPhone.
And you have a son headed to college? I
have 3 sons. My baby is finishing his first year of college. Yes.
That's so exciting.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations to you. I guess to finish, I would love to hear, the beauty industry has gone through so many changes, and I'm at Allure now, of course, at a beauty magazine, one of the few dedicated beauty magazines in the industry. What do you think needs to change about beauty? What do you think we need to do to make it a broader cultural conversation?
Well, I think it is really changing. Unfortunately, my beloved magazines, the paper magazines that we used to like, I still buy them. I still subscribe to them. I get them at home. I do. I love them. And I think it is really changing. And a lot of the young editors that are coming in are bringing a whole new spin. And I've always been someone that really, wants to feature women of all ages, all cultures. And I think it's great. And I think the more natural, the better. And I just think, I don't care if it's a bright red lip or some crazy smoky eye. It's got to be kind of a little bit more cool and subtle and interesting and not overdone.
Beauty is so cyclical. So you think that contouring is going to maybe cycle out, phase out?
I honestly, in all my years, I've never met one person that contours. I've met Kim Kardashian's makeup artist, but I have never met not one of my friends, not my Aunt Alice, not my cousin Barbara, not my sister. So I think real women don't contour.
I contoured this morning.
You did not contour. Yes. Babes, you got nothing to contour.
That's what I have a beard for.
I know, but no, when I see you, the first thing I see are those beautiful blue eyes and your healthy skin. But that's what you want to bring out, the good things. You don't want to take away the things that, look, would I like to have a button nose or would I like, it's not going to happen. So I might as well do and bring out what's what I find the best on me. And I always, my cheeks, because there's no wrinkles in cheeks.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. I think we actually have time for a few audience questions. Hi.
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 Hi, Bobbi.
You're gorgeous.
Thank you very much. You are too. Thank you for stepping up and having the confidence to introduce natural-looking makeup to women of all shades of the rainbow in an era where European Parisian was setting the beauty standard. So thank you for that.
My pleasure.
And being a pioneer of natural makeup, how do you feel about the extreme juxtaposition of hashtag Team Natural and hashtag extreme cosmetic enhancement?
Well, I think the great thing about our world is you could be who you are. And I'm not saying everyone wants to be in the Bobbi world with natural. Some people don't, and that's okay. So I just think that it's, what's natural is what's right for you. I happen to think people look great without makeup, and then with the right makeup, look amazing. So, and your makeup is perfect. It's there, but it's still natural. And natural makeup means that your foundation is the color of your skin.
Yes,
So.
I got it done at Dior. Hi, Mimi.
Oh, well, it looks really good.
Thank
It
you.
does, looks really good. Yeah. Thank you.
for your time.
Yes, hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for being here. So, what was the best advice you've ever given when you started your career?
Well, to be really curious and to be the one in the room that does everything. Even do things that people don't ask you to do. Be the one that volunteers to do things. And then people will know that you're something special because you got to work really hard. Thank you.
Amazing. Yes, hi.
Hey, Bobbi. I know you're talking about having confidence. Were there times, maybe starting your business or even now, where you had doubt, and how did you get past that? And were there, did you have people around you that supported you?
Well, constantly. If I sat there and said it's always amazing and I'm confident and everything's great, that would not be true. The truth is that if you don't have a support system around you, because trust me, there's times where I would say, what's happening? Why am I doing this? And certainly in the beginning, when I was a new mom, trying to kind of figure it out, trying to pay the bills, it was rough. And if I didn't have the support of my husband, that would have been a big problem. My husband, my father, and my girlfriends. So I advise anyone that wants anything in life, just to make sure you have the support around you.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bobbi. Thank you so much for being
thank
here. We're so
you.
happy to celebrate beauty from the inside
Thank
out.
you, guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.